We're here with Professor Sangalli. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank
you.
you.
have organized the meeting that is going to take place today. You've always tried to encourage the growth of a dialogic community, and you've always tried to promote interconfessional dialogue and confrontation. Today's meeting goes in that direction. What do you expect to see?
For the present meeting, the meeting that we are going to have in a couple of hours, certainly it will be a certain point during the course of global governance through interreligious dialogue. Why? Because apart from my teaching and the teaching of my two colleagues, Rabbi Carucci Viterbi and Dr. Abdellah Erdouane, one is rabbi of the rabbinate here in Rome, another one is the secretary of the Islamic Center of the Great Mosque here in Rome, so Catholic priest and two religious from Hebraism and Islamic world. Apart from ourselves, these women that are coming from Jerusalem can show, let me say, more concretely, what does it mean, an interreligious dialogue in a place where generally we know that dialogue is extremely difficult, and religious community, instead of being part of a peace process, sometimes, quite often, to be honest, they clash with themselves. And these women are, let me say, a point of hope. These women represent a different way of dealing with differences between religions and cultures.
So do you think that this is an example of what women around the world can do to promote an inclusive world and society?
I was impressed the first time that I met them by their determination. So I said, why do you call yourself women of faith for peace? Why only women? Which is specific which is the specific that you develop? And they said, Father, we don't want to accuse men, but generally you approach officially. You approach things at high level, and you didn't understand how it is extremely important to start from education, from upbringing. For myself, was like to open a new window, because I was remembering what the bishop that ordained me, Cardinal Carlo Maria Martini, that is quite famous for his work for interreligious dialogue, was saying some years ago, when living in Jerusalem, he said, till the time when both parties who are conflicting, Jews and Muslim, will understand that the young people that dies in each of the two parts are the same young people. A Jewish mother cries for a Muslim young that is dead, as on the other side does the same a Muslim mother. They won't solve the conflict. When I met this group of women, I realized that this is the starting point. They said, either we start from education, and we realize that since the childhood, people have to learn how to talk together, how to live together, how to appreciate one another. Otherwise, we cannot succeed. It's a long path, it's a long journey, but well-founded.
So throughout your life as a man of the church and the work that you do every day, you have always proved to be very keen on education, and have always proved that you think that, as you said, education is the the key factor in developing a dialogic society and a more inclusive world. But do you think that there are specific values that we need to teach to young children or to young people? Is there, I don't know, maybe Christian values or interconfessional values that we can maybe, I don't know, list 2 or 3 values? I know it's not easy to, focus on only 2 or 3 things, but maybe, I don't know.
I was impressed during my studies when, or to be honest, during my academic work and academic research, when I discovered that the golden rule was commonly shared in the 5th century before Christ. In Greece, in other cultures and religion. That was a starting point, the golden rule. And I did research, and I found that in all the religious texts of the great religions, of course, the golden rule is present. So the golden rule, as you remember, is on the forefront of the pillars of the United Nations. Do to the other what you want that the other does for you, and do not don't cause harm to the other as you don't want that the other causes harm to you. So the point is, starting from the golden rule, that it means the mutual respect, everything goes. Generally, in religious text, the golden rule is linked to the other commandment, to love your God. And this is, as you remember, Jesus Christ was saying, these are the 2 main commandments of the law. Not only for Christians, but for all the people in the world. Set apart the first one for non-believer, but the golden rule, the rule of mutual respect, is something common for the entire humanity. We have to start from these values.
So this is a common ground on which we can build something that can be shared by everyone. But are there unbridgeable differences between religions that can hinder this process?
I'm not syncretistic, and I think that the syncretistic approach is something unrespectful for religious people. Each religious has a proper path towards God, and you cannot treat each religion as they are similar or different language of a same reality. No. Each religion has its proper path towards God, but this spirituality, these different doctrines, or the different moral teaching do not imply, we are talking about the great religion, as Pope Francis is used to say, do not imply hate or violence against the others. So each religion in itself is a path of personal conversion towards God. And the core point of each religion is love, mutual respect towards God and to the others. For this reason, if we are truly believers, we cannot do harm to another person.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Sangalli.
Thank you too.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been really interesting. And I feel that this is only the appetizer of what we're going to hear this afternoon here at Lewis.
Thank you so much for your interview.
Thank you.
Thanks.